I'm Emma Rose DeSantis. My first name is Emma Rose, and my pronouns are she, her. And I am a recent graduate from Western Washington University. I graduated with a BFA in dance and two minors, one in business administration and one in entrepreneurship and innovation. So I started dancing when I was 3, which if I think about it, it's almost 20 years, which is really crazy. Can't believe that. But I've been dancing since I was 3. I started in ballet and creative movement slash ballet, and then did some modern classes. I grew up on Vashon Island, and so I danced with Vashon Center for the Arts, and we growing up didn't have many more styles than just ballet and modern offered at the studio. So that was what I focused in a lot throughout as I grew up. And then when I got to high school, we incorporated more hip hop and some jazz. So I started to get more introduced to those styles of dance as I entered high school. My main foundations of training was ballet and modern. And then when I went to college at Western, their dance program, the WW dance program, focuses a lot on contemporary dance and some ballet, but it's largely contemporary. So I was able to develop my skills and get more creative freedom with contemporary dance while still maintaining some ballet technique. And I was involved with some dance clubs on campus. So I was involved in 2 hip hop dance clubs, one called Sinaha, one called the Western Washington Dance Team, also known as What It. I really only got involved with them as I approached my junior and senior year of college, but because of COVID, it was started out online. However, also because of COVID, we were able to introduce a guest teacher to teach hip hop from New York. And so I was able to work more on my hip hop skills. And that's something that I still am working on and am still improving upon. But I would say where I am now is I focus largely on contemporary and hip hop and do ballet mainly to keep my training and my technique, but not so much as a main focus in my dancing. I also do social dance. So that's like salsa and bachata and some ballroom styles and other Latin dances. I do them through, they're called socials. It's like there's different venues that some of them offer lessons for half an hour to an hour before, and then there's a big social, which is like music plays and you just dance with different people and have different partners and keep dancing. So that's another form of dance that I've gotten introduced to, but I don't have any like studio or academic training in that. It's just through these different lessons and social dance venues. One of my biggest challenges in dance, especially growing up on a little island in a small community, was feeling like I could really envision and see myself as a dancer, especially as a professional dancer or pursuing it more seriously. I was very fortunate to have a super supportive community, and I didn't feel like I was any different than anybody else in the community in terms of my ability to dance, but I didn't see myself represented so much. And I didn't think that I had the capabilities to really pursue dance because I didn't see the people around me didn't look like me, essentially, that it was not as like ethnically diverse. And I didn't see, especially being in a ballet centered studio, didn't see a lot of representation of people who looked like me to make me really think and feel that, oh yeah, I can do this. And that was a big challenge. And where I'm going with this is a little different than maybe it seems, but really opened my eyes and really allowed me to embrace myself more as a dancer and as a more serious dancer was exploring other styles like contemporary and hip hop and social dance. And those styles really fit my body a lot more easily. And I remember trying to, I love ballet. Ballet always has a place in my heart. I love doing it. I love teaching it. I love performing in ballet. It's just not something that my body is built very well to do. I don't have really great turnout. I don't have super long lines of feet and very pointy feet. But upon learning about other styles of dance, realized that I can dance and I can do dance more seriously, and I see more diversity in these other styles of dance that really inspired me to keep going and made me realize, yes, I can do this. And so I would say, on one hand, if as a younger dancer or as an older dancer, you want to pursue dance and it's hard and you may not see yourself represented, then I think it's really great to continue to push for that and kind of break these molds and barriers. However, also knowing that maybe if it really doesn't seem to fit, that you can still dance and still be a great dancer, but that may come from another dance style. Because my thought of professional dance was just professional ballet dancers. And that might have been a bit naive or a little closed-minded, but that's just what I had as an impression growing up. And so I would just say, don't limit yourself when you're dancing. And there are a lot more options and opportunities of dance for anyone to pursue that fits. There's dance for everyone, basically. And you can find where you fit in that community. So that's kind of like a challenge I faced, was just not feeling like I could dance in the direction that I could see, and realizing that I can. It's just maybe in a slightly different direction, but I love it. I actually love it a little more, but maybe that's just because I am more confident in dancing the other styles. I didn't think I could become a Dancewear Center ambassador, actually. I didn't think that it was something that I could do. And then, but I'd seen the ambassador program, and especially on Instagram mainly is how I found out, because I follow Dancewear Center. And I saw their ambassadors and I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. But nah, that's not something I could ever do. I don't feel like I am qualified or like I have what it takes. But then I got a message from Dancewear Ambassador or Dancewear Center saying, hey, we have this ambassador program that we think would be great. If you wanted to apply and were interested, you can apply to be. And so then I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can be one. Like, they messaged me, so then that must mean I have something that applies. So as I looked into it and as I was reading more about Dancewear Center and the whole message of everybody is a dancing body and that anyone can dance, and the inclusivity and diversity that I saw, and the way that it felt very friendly, not super highly competitive, and it felt very friendly, and I really wanted to build more of a community of dance around myself, because I did go to school in Bellingham and I just moved to Bellevue, and I'm pretty new to the area and to the dance scene, and don't really have much of a dance community around me. So I really wanted to try something that gave me that community. And so I would say that what inspired me was the community that Dancewear Center has of dancers and of creators and artists, and also the inclusivity and the message that Dancewear Center delivers to everyone is something that I really agree with and feel very strongly about, and that I want to be a part of. The connections and the people. I am very excited to get to know everybody around Dancewear Center and the other ambassadors, and the connections and the networking that I can do to, like, Ethan teaches dance, and I'm pretty sure Sam teaches dance, but just having these people around to draw inspiration from and to connect with, and to in the end have that community building that I talked about before. And so it's mainly the people that I'm looking forward to, is like getting to know everyone and connecting with everyone. And also the photo shoots and the videos and the packages that get sent. I, on a side note, never really had a lot of dance clothes growing up. Like I had leotard and tights, but I never really owned much activewear dance clothes because it's often very expensive, and I also just don't really know what to wear. I didn't, and I still feel like I kind of struggle with the clothing part, especially getting clothes that are you're meant to be active in. I just wear like typical, I don't know, normal pants that are stretchy and like a shirt. So I'm also looking forward to expanding my dance wardrobe and maybe trying some things that I wouldn't normally try for like dance wear, active wear, because that's something that I seem to struggle with a lot, is clothing to dance in. I have two changes. One I've been saying since like throughout my application to be an ambassador is accessibility in dance. And by that can come in a lot of different ways. It can come from accessibility physically into the studios or into dance spaces, or financial accessibility into affordable classes or support to allow those who may not be able to afford dance classes to take class. That could be in the form of education for dancers for things that isn't just dance itself, but also how to eat healthy when you're dancing, because dancing is a lot of work, and food and health is a really challenging thing for pretty much every dancer. And that, not just in terms of accessibility for something that could be improved on, but something that I feel like is greatly lacking just in general. So making that accessible, but not because it exists and isn't accessible, but because it doesn't exist. So it needs to be there. Like having the information available and talked about in a healthy way. Another one that I thought of is mainly towards ballet, but it's like gender roles. Like in ballet, I always felt more drawn to and was physically more capable to do the more masculine male dance roles. I wasn't much of a lifter. I'm a little too small for that. The jumps, the turns, the movements that male dancers have a lot of were just felt so much more comfortable to me. I love point, but I'm not the person who has long legs that can put my leg to here and have like adagio is not my friend, but jumps and like big grand allegro things are things that I loved doing, and I'd always have friendly competition with my fellow male dancers that like I would run around again just to do the male version or male variation of things. And so for ballet specifically, just maybe breaking the stereotype isn't the right word, but taking down these barriers and these assumptions of who can do what in ballet specifically is something that I would love to see a change being made, because I say this because I see a lot of male dancers, or either like queer or male presenting, or I'll just say queer right now, dancers who are on point and who wear leotards and tutus. I haven't seen a lot of the more female presenting and female dancers being as incorporated or as represented onto the more typical male side of ballet. And that's something that I would like to see. Steps that you could take to move towards changes like this. I mentioned this in a previous meeting I had of the accessibility of dance in terms of online accessibility, is like having image descriptions or video descriptions for those who are visually impaired, or having captions in videos specifically on social media for those who have auditory processing issues, or incorporating accessible tools online for that aspect. I'm not exactly sure about the other ones and how you could incorporate it. Not that there isn't, I just can't think of any right now. Like one that popped to mind that I'm not sure exactly how that implement for Dancewear Center as a whole. But when I was in college, I was in a ballet class and we had to learn variations, and it was all women in the class. And I asked the teacher if I could do a male variation instead of a female variation because I just felt more comfortable doing that. And she said yes. And so I was the only one who did a male variation. Everybody else did female variations, but just feeling comfortable and able to do that. And it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like, and Emma Rose is doing a male variation. Like it wasn't, it was just like everybody else. So I'm not sure how that would be incorporated, but that's just an example of something I mentioned about it. No master classes right now. I would love to teach a class, but I mean, I'm gonna teach ballet classes to 8 to 14-year-olds, which is exciting, but that's not set in stone yet. And I'm doing a test class tomorrow actually to see if I'm a good fit for the studio. Another thing is I'm choreographing a piece for my home studio, Vashon Center for the Arts. They have a performance called Original Works that is student choreographed, or community and alum or anyone can choreograph an original piece and have it be performed on the main stage. And that is in March, from March 17th to 19th next year is when the show is. But I'll be choreographing on the students who dance at VCA, Vashon Center for the Arts. I'm gonna be doing an audition for a contemporary piece. It's in Capitol Hill, but I'll be doing an audition soon, and so don't know what's gonna happen to that, but